Hey guys, how's it going? Hope y'all are doing well. For today's video, we'll be starting a new series where I talk about a topic about actors, TV movie series, or other movie TV related topics, and whether or not I love it, hate it, or have just confusing feelings for it. Now, before we continue, I do need to preference that when I say hate, I mean I don't really like it as an actor slash movie or just topic. There is almost nothing personal when I make these videos when it comes to the actual actors themselves or the movies or the people who make the movies. Now, getting that out of the way now, we are making a love letter to probably my favorite actor of all time, Jim Carrey. Yay! Just hands. Um, Now, how this will work is I'm going to be talking about the 5 reasons why I love Jim Carrey as an actor and talk about his best movies. Now get ready for me to drool over someone for the next 10 or so minutes. Oh hey, didn't see you there. Wait, what's that noise? That's right, it's the official opinion warning! Yay! Okay. Anyway, if you guys already didn't know, these videos usually involve a lot of my opinion, and this one is no different. So please, if you don't agree with my opinion, please don't rage about it in the comments section. Like, why can't we all just be friends and get along, like me and my pal, Sam? Anyway, let's get into the list. Do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do-do. Jim Carrey as an actor makes all of his characters in each of his movies so unique. Most notably, characters like Ace Ventura, Stanley Ichabod, aka The Mask, and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Now, the character I want to talk more about is Jim Carrey's role as the Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The reason why I think this is one of the best characters Jim Carrey has ever played is that even though it's an already well-established character, he can make this Grinch so unique to him compared to the original cartoon and the brand new Illumination adaptation of the movie that came out a couple years ago. To pick a scene to most represent what I'm talking about is the scene where the Grinch is trying to fit something into his schedule, but makes up a whole list of other excuses like self-loathing and I just have to eat away my depression and other funny things like that he talks about. Alright, but listen, let me get something straight here. The live-action adaptation of How the Grinch Stole Christmas is an absolute dumpster fire of a movie. It scored a 49 on Rotten Tomatoes, and its quality and creepiness are almost on the same level as Cats. Cats! That movie was horrible. Jim Carrey, though, did a really good job of portraying the Grinch with being able to stick with classic Grinch traditions while also adding some Jim Carrey spice to it as well. It somewhat made up for the movie's horribleness. On to the next reason! Do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do-do. Now, it's no surprise that Jim Carrey had a lot of success in the 90s with a lot of different comedies. If you want more info on not 90s comedies, well, you should check out my last video on my YouTube channel. Plug! Yeah! I plugged my channel, suck it! Anyway, the movie I'm going to be specifically talking about here is Dumb and Dumber. Why Dumb and Dumber, you may ask? Well, besides Jim Carrey's great performance, I also want to mention the great duo this movie gave us in the form of Lloyd and Harry. The person who played Harry was Jeff Daniels, who's a classic comedian. Now, a little history lesson, children. What the writers were looking for when looking for the role of Harry was a guy who can be Lloyd's, aka Jim Carrey's, support, meaning someone who could amplify Jim's jokes, but not someone who would steal the show. Jeff Daniels fit the role perfectly because, as you can see throughout the whole movie, if you've seen it before, and if you haven't, you should totally watch it. I love it. I would totally recommend it. Jeff was both funny and allowed Jim to do his thing without stealing the spotlight. Jeff Daniels didn't get a lot of praise for this movie, even though he was probably, in my opinion, the crucial part of what made this movie good. The other thing I really liked about this movie was the almost prop-like jokes they did with every scene. It seemed like every destination the boys were at made a joke using something from their surroundings, whether it was the extra glove scene when they first got to Colorado, or the diner scene with the bikers. Anyway, on to the next topic! Do-do-do-do, Do 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 do. All right, if you watched the last video, you already know this, but I would describe Jim Carrey's comedy as physical, meaning that he does a lot of goofy movements along with his jokes. A perfect example of this is from the dinner dream scene from Dumb and Dumber, where Lloyd, aka Jim Carrey, fights off a group of ninja cooks to defend his woman. I love this entire scene because of the goofy and yet well executed fighting. Props to the choreographer, whoever did this scene. Um, but Jim Carrey really brings it home with the funny noises he makes throughout the whole scene, like the wah. Anyway, another great example of his physical comedy is from his hit movie, The Mask. Actually, the entire movie is a great example of how funny he is and with his physical comedy. Mixed with great CGI, Jim Carrey's way of being able to act insane when he puts on the mask makes a great comedic combo. For any actor, the ability to crack a joke at the right time is a great skill to learn, even if they aren't in a comedy movie. It's a way to relieve the audience's stress and relax them during any scene. For Jim Carrey, though, he can make people laugh in multiple ways and just telling jokes, which is a true testament to his greatness as a comedian. All right, on to the next one. Yeah. Do 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 do. All right, guys, we're gonna take a little bit of a dark turn here. Talking about Jim Carrey. Even though on camera Jim Carrey acts very spunky and happy, there is a dark past behind that Grinch-like smile. For as a child, Jim growing up had a very rough childhood with his family, being very poor and scrounging for every cent that they could. Now, when Jim moved out to LA to try and make a career out of his comedy, he had to bring his family with him because at the time they didn't have a house to live in back home. And that's not even all of it. During his adulthood, he had many struggles when it came to his love life, with many of his relationships ending in breakup. Now, when his ex-girlfriends would be interviewed and asked about Jim, they all said roughly the same reason on why they broke up with him, which was that he was extremely depressing to be around outside of the camera. Now, why am I talking about such a depressing topic when I specifically said at the beginning that this video idea would be mostly just about the actor themselves? Now, this reason it's on the list is because A, it shows that he's a human being, which you can't say a lot about a lot of actors these days, and B, this just shows how good of an actor he was because he was able to put his life behind a wall to act as well as he did for his roles. It just shows you that how much dedication he had for the role, that he was able to put aside his problems to become the role that he was playing as. On to the next one. Do 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 do. Yep, you guys saw it right. The last reason I like Jim Carrey so much is because of his many, and I mean many, many different hairstyles he has throughout all of his roles. Even the bowl cut that he had while playing Lloyd had something to be desired by all in the 90s. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Now, there is an actual reason why I'm talking about his hairstyles. It's because each hairstyle for each role represented the character really well. Now, I know something like this is obvious, but it's still pretty cool that the costume designers put that much work into the detail, even with the hair. To match examples like to make examples like Lloyd having the dorky and dumb bowl cut, or Ace Ventura's big looping front hairstyle to match his wacky and upbeat character. Now, those were the top 5 reasons why I love Jim Carrey as an actor. Alright, I tried my best to just talk about him as an actor, and even if I talked about his personal life a little bit, I tried to tie it to his acting as much as possible. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and blast that like button, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya! Now, Jim Carrey as an actor makes all of his characters in each of these movies so identifiable. Identifiable? Yep, identifiable. Identifiable. Well, I've had a recording going for that long. This is interesting.